Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle celebrity talk show series. Hope your day is going well today. Thanks for joining us all over the world. We've got a really cool audience of Jameis Lovedies, as we call them, those who watch, support, share, celebrate, and enjoy everything we're doing here on our entertainment lifestyle celebrity talk show series, where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation. Guests coming in from Hollywood, Broadway, television, music, film, stage, sports, comedy, food, even psychics. I mean, you name it. We have it all here on the show. And thanks for joining us as we're getting closer and closer to almost 1,000 episodes in just 3.5 so years, which is unbelievable. Thanks for all the love, the support, the texts, the comments, the emails, the sharing on your social media. Of course, you can find us on the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, where there are archives filled with incredible episodes of every kind you can think of. And of course, our social media, Jim Masters TV on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Boy, we've got an amazing guest who is doing something quite special and sharing a beautifully touching, heartwarming children's book. Now, well before writing this children's book, Zach's Favorite Socks, Meelah Williams has been on stage since the 90s and continues to perform today. She's an unbelievable singer with an extraordinarily powerful voice, lead singer of the very popular, originally 90s, but then regrouped and is back out on tour today, fabulous R&B group, the trio 702. And I know many of you are very, very excited about that. You know about the group. You have their music. You have followed and rooted them on for years. She's also a songwriter, an actress, and a fabulous author of this really, really cool book, which really celebrates, her son, Zach. We're going to talk about this very heartwarming story in just a second. But of course, 702, the phenomenal group that has knocked it out of the park since the 90s. And we're very excited to have her here on the show. Their music is unique. It's a soulful sound. It's the real deal. And tell you a little bit about their debut album, No Doubt, shot to #1 on the top heat seekers. Yeah. Missy Elliott co-wrote and produced 4 songs in the album, including the smash hit, Stilo and its remix. The album spawned the 3 hits, Stilo, All I Want, and Get It Together, with the altered lyrics used as a theme song to the Nickelodeon television show Cousin Skeeter. Yeah, and All I Want was featured in the Nickelodeon movie Good Burger, based on the sketch series from All That, where also they performed Get Together. That exploded by really giving the group a #3 R&B single and #10 pop single on the Billboard charts. The album earned them a Soul Train Lady of Soul Award in 1997. It sold over 500,000 copies worldwide. And in addition to the album, 702 opened for New Edition, Keith Sweat, and Blackstreet during the 96-97 New Edition reunion tour. They also appeared on Elliott's debut album, Super Duper Fly, 198th song, Beat Me 9/11, which reached #14 on the UK singles chart. They also sang with Busta Rhymes and, featured on the soundtrack to Men in Black in 98. They also did cameos in the sitcoms Sister Sister and Moesha as well. That is just the short list. The group actually was formed in the 90s, 702, named after the area code of their hometown of Las Vegas, Nevada. All-American girl group with the final and most known lineup with Meelah, of course, lead singer. And it's really incredible. They've been doing this for a long time, gang. And they just sort of recently, around 2017, came back together, touring. They really are like sisters. They've been through a lot together. They share so many incredible stories. The music just knocks it out of the park. And as I mentioned, Meelah herself, she is a wonderful soloist as much as she is part of the group. And you can check out her music as well online. But she wrote this fabulous book too. We'll talk about 702, but of course, there's her wonderful son, Zach. And it's a really beautiful, touching story. Everybody's been raving about this book, folks. And I'm going to tell you about it in just a second. We're so excited to have her here to really delve in deep and share this. It's a very personal story. It's a wonderful children's book. And again, it puts smiles on everybody's faces, which I think is really a cool thing. So we're excited to have Meelah here on the show. I want to tell you just a little bit about the book itself, which is really hot off the presses. Now, of course, we just rekindled some memories for you with the incredible group 702. A little bit about Meelah's fabulous book. In addition to the book, I do want to let you know too, she, in addition to, again, being a singer, songwriter, and actress, she is proudly the founder of P.R.O.U.D, which is Parents Reaching Out to Understand Developmental Delays, which is an organizational that has been dedicated to autism and special needs awareness. And Meelah decided to write her first children's book dedicated to her son, Zach, called Zach's Favorite Socks. Zach is excited to start the first grade. He's up early and eager to, and he realizes, which I think he's eager to have a great day, of course, but he also realizes that he's missing something, and he's looking for those favorite socks. He's bummed out and suddenly not as excited to go to school. How is he supposed to make it through the day without the socks? And more importantly, will he ever see them again? Meelah has been doing book tours and signings, and again, currently touring with 702. Between being a mom, singer, author, and running a nonprofit, she keeps a very busy schedule. She is an advocate for autism and does speaking engagements on being a parent of a child with autism. And this is her first children's book in the series for Zach, looking for much more in the future. She spends her time between her hometown of Las Vegas and Atlanta. She's in Atlanta, Georgia right now. Zach's Favorite Socks can be purchased from Barnes & Noble and Amazon as well. And again, there's another shot of the cover, and we'll show this again during the course of the show. But we're coming at you live. You want to comment during the show, folks? You can certainly do that in our JMS Lovity Hall chat room, as we call it. That's open and available right now. When you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can comment and say hello to us, say hello to our guest, and have a good time with us. But first, without further ado, coming to us live from steamy Atlanta, our very special guest, Meelah Williams, joining us on the Jim Masters Show. Meelah, welcome to the show, my friend. It's awesome to have you here.
Thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. That introduction was like, well, I mean, can I live up to this after all?
Well, it's sort of like the pre-introduction for when you get the Grammy, you know.
Oh,
we got it. I'll come on stage. I'll do that same intro for you as you walk that red carpet.
I mean, I sound so important. I mean, thank you.
And you thought it was already hot in Atlanta, right?
Thank you so much. I'm truly honored and humbled. Thank you very much. I appreciate that so much.
The pleasure is all mine. I tell you, you are a stellar entertainer. You're full of passion, full of zest, full of vim and vigor and life. And I think it not only comes out on stage, but it certainly comes out in this beautiful, touching children's book that you penned. So congratulations on that, Meelah. I know it was a labor of love, right?
Yes, absolutely a labor of love. I wrote it a while ago. And for whatever reason, I just kind of, I don't know, I was just kind of like letting it simmer, if you will.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And the pandemic happened, and then life changed for us all. And I went back to it when things kind of calmed down. I was like, this is, you know, what as good of a time to release it, you know, like now when things were kind of getting somewhat back to, I guess, our new normal.
Yeah.
So yeah, after doing the homeschooling with my son, which was
that
was definitely challenging to say the least. But I thought, okay, it was kind of a way, it was a creative outlet for sure to go ahead and just, you know, release it. And I'm pretty hyped about it because I just love rhyming books. I've always loved rhyming books. I know I love, like, you know, Dr. Seuss books when I was a kid. And then when Eld was smaller and really cared a bit more about me reading to him.
Yeah.
Now, but he always loved, I felt like he always gravitated more towards the books that rhymed. And so I was like, oh my gosh, it'd be really cool to kind of write a book that rhymes. I love doing songwriting, but I never really tried my hand at, you know, writing a book of any sort, of course. And I'm just like, okay, I think I can do this. I can rhyme. I think I kind of rhyme for a living when I do my
Yeah, right. Yes.
So I'm excited to do it, and especially, you know, for my kid, and just to kind of add a little bit more creativity to what I already do musically.
How did you first get into music? Did you grew up in Vegas, of
Yep.
course, and I know you sang in the church and came from a very spiritual background. Did that first inspire you? And did you come from a musical family? How'd you first get the taste of music to decide, hey, you know what? Not only do I want to do this, it's in me, it's who I am. I gotta get out there on stage. I got to perform. I got to lift people's spirits through the music and get them dancing and feeling really good.
Yeah. Well, I was 7 years old. I know we hear those stories all the time where everyone's like, "Oh, I started singing when I was 2." Well, I was 7. I do remember that because my mother had just started taking my sister and I to church, and we were in the church choir. Myself, my mother, and my sister. We were all in the church choir, and my mom, may she rest in peace, she just passed in October from cancer.
I know. Very
Yeah.
sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And I mention it in every interview because I'm just,
Yes.
still dealing with the loss. But I mention her also because I just, I have to give her, the flowers that she deserves always. Because she wasn't like a momager per se. She wanted me to do whatever I wanted to do. But we did learn, I think, both of us at the same time that like, wow, I might be kind of good at this. I was given my first solo at 7. And so when I don't know why, even like the pianist just chose me randomly to lead this song. and
Yeah.
and once I opened my mouth, my mom and I kind of like realized, I wasn't too shabby. And so then I learned I liked it. And she then put me in like different talent shows around town, locally in Las Vegas. I did fashion shows, I sang at the malls, I sang at, all the track meets, the national anthem, like wherever. Like my mom had me singing any and everywhere.
Everywhere, on every street
Leader vocal.
corner,
Yeah.
supermarkets, get her out
Yep,
there.
exactly. And I
This
was a
is
young
my
girl.
daughter.
That's
Yeah.
right. But it was never a forceful thing.
Right.
I definitely wanted to do it. And then there was a time where I thought I didn't want to do it. I was like 13. I was like, this is too much work. And I quit for like a couple of weeks. But I realized that it was something that I definitely had just a natural knack. Well, more so it was a gift, a gift from God. And it was just like a God-given ability. And I realized that this was something special and something magical. I didn't know that I wanted to pursue music professionally, but I knew I wanted to just kind of explore where it would lead. And
Right.
this kind of happened where I went to a performing arts high school, my 11th and 12th grade year, and that's where I met my bandmates who are sisters. And I was in, of course, the music program at the school, and we all were, and they were kind of transitioning, just changing group members at the time. But they had already been signed to Motown. So I was like the whole school was so impressed. Like, oh my gosh, we have like stars at the school. Uh, but they were changing members, and they asked me if I would audition. And I did. And kind of like, because the story's so long, the rest is history. I joined, I auditioned, I got picked, I joined. And then like, yeah, next thing you know, we had all these albums.
And
So.
the formation of the group, how did it come together? How did you guys say, you know what, we're good, we have our individual talents, but let's combine them and create 702, which of course is patterned after the area code where you come from Las Vegas. How did those initial moments sort of put you on that track for the creation of the group, which turned out to be a really great decision? And we're so glad that you did decide to do it, because you
Listen,
have so much music out there.
as am I. It's so strange how life works. My mother and I were kind of on the fence about it initially because I'd always been, a one-man band. I had never sang with anyone. My family is actually answering the question you kind of asked earlier. My family is a very musical family. My mother's entire family sings. My sister always, she wants to beat me up after when I say this, but everybody but my sister, she doesn't really sing. But but the rest of us do. And so, I had always sang by myself and in church, and like I said, all the other stuff locally. But when my my group members, presented it to me, and my mother and I, that's why I think we were a little nervous about it, because I had never really experienced a group dynamic. And, I didn't really know what that looked like. And so I was just like, but it's Motown,
Right, exactly.
Go to
Yeah.
Motown.
Right.
So, So my mom, being a very spiritual woman, she prayed about it. We prayed about it. And ultimately, I think she was just nervous in general. I was still in high school. And so she just didn't know if she was ready to let her baby go. But ultimately, we were like, hey, we had nothing to lose, so at least go audition. And that's what I did. And kind of went through a whole boot camp for some months and some trial and error. And then once I guess, passed the first series of hurdles, I sang for Michael Bivins, who discovered 702, of course, the legendary, iconic New Edition and BBD, and sang for him. And then he realized, okay, she's a pretty good fit. And I think he decided to change the group from a quartet. They were 4 girls at first, to a trio. And then it just became myself. And he kept 2 of the other sisters, Lamisha and Irish. And man, we just gelled. We ended up just having, we figured out all the harmonies, and just figured out all the choreography and the synergy that you need, the sisterhood that you need. You know what I mean? We definitely had some moments. We were young girls, of course, where we had some, some little cat fights and everything. But overall, well, you got 3 girls. So are you kidding me? But overall, we figured out a formula pretty quickly, which was awesome. And that first album that you mentioned, with Missy Elliott's contribution and those songs just kind of, I guess, resonating with the public, it went wild. It went fast. I didn't even know it was going to happen like that. I still to this day sometimes have a pinch me moment. It was all so surreal.
It's really incredible, isn't it? So who were the folks that, who were the musicians and artists and the genres of music that you liked even before 702 was created? What's the kind of music that really spoke to you, or maybe still speaks to you today?
Yeah, so I'm a music lover, man. My father and my mom had the most amazing music collections.
Yeah.
They were on a very broad spectrum of music. So I love jazz. I love soft rock. I love, of course, gospel and worship music. Gosh, my dad would play Al Jarreau and Anita Baker, and then Michael Franks, who I still listen to today. And my mom had, of course, like Michael Jackson, and oh my goodness, she played the gospel greats like the Winans and Denise Williams. And I mean, gosh, it's just so colorful. My dad loved the Isley Brothers, and then my mom introduced me to, gosh, she had just such an array of different types of music. She loved Bing Crosby was always playing.
Yeah.
She loved her some Bing Crosby at Christmas.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Oh gosh, yes. And what is the song? Maka was it the
Yeah, right. So you grew up with exposure to an eclectic mix of all kinds of music, which really enhanced your appreciation for music as a whole, right?
Yes, absolutely. And growing up in Vegas, it's a wild bunch out there. It's pretty diverse, and
Yeah.
so happy that, my parents allowed me, the opportunity to have diversity in my friendships, and also with my music, and just in general, because I think that definitely contributed to not just my musical background, but just me as an individual, and so I was exposed to a lot of different cultures and diversity early on. And it's funny because when I tell people from Las Vegas, they're like, oh, there are Black people in Las Vegas.
Right.
Like,
oh yeah, culturally right.
Yeah. I'm like, my mom was born there in 1952. And so, and my grandparents were there from, oh Lord, the time that before she was born, because she was one of 8 and she wasn't even the oldest, to, gosh, they lived there, they passed away in their 90s. And so it's like, I have so many roots in Vegas, and we listened to, like I said, soft rock growing up. My sister and I would listen to Duran Duran and,
oh yeah,
Hall & Oates, and just, like a plethora of music. So I still listen to all of that type of stuff today, as well as today's music. I listen to it all.
So when you decided, okay, it is time to put 702 together, what was that like? I mean, you guys really, it was a certain, how do you describe the sound? Because of course there's Destiny's Child and there's all these other groups and individuals that were out there, but you do have a unique sound to 702 that really people connected with, and they're so happy that you guys came back. I mean, the return of 702, that's a whole other incredible thing. But how do you describe the sound, and what was it like when, those first moments were happening for you guys?
You know, I don't know how to articulate the sound. I don't even know how to put it into words. You know, I guess technically we are considered pop R&B. You know, but you know, Stilo was an R&B record, right? It's there's a certain vernacular. Well, first of all, we don't even know what that word means. Missy Elliott came up with that with that word, and to this day, I'm like, and so wait, did we ever learn what that means? But I feel like it was just kind of at the time a slang version of style, if you will, like style. And then they shortened it to steez, you know. And a lot of people at the time thought we were maybe from New York because we shot that video in New York on the Brooklyn Bridge back in 1996. And
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
Virginia, and she has this, you know, this different swag and way about her. So everybody thought we were like from the East Coast, and we're like, no, we're just three little Vegas girls, but we work with such a different, you know, type of so many different types of
Yeah.
producers that had a sound on the. So that was the first album where she created mostly set the tone, I think, mostly for the sound. But then you go to the second album, and that was even more diverse, even more, I guess, of a pop approach. But our biggest record was Where My Girl's At, which Missy did as well. However, that album had a lot of different sounds, you know, more than just that sound that comes with Where My Girl's At, which is more pop, you know. But I don't, you know, I think our sound, if I had to describe it, I would just say that it's very universal, you know.
Yes, right.
It's very global. I know we have a
Mass
pretty
appeal. Yeah.
very large following, you know, internationally, which I'm super grateful for. The records say like you don't know from the second album, it didn't really do much here in the States, but it's like super huge over in like the UK and South Africa. And so, you know, it just resonates with different audiences. And so I think that's what's most important, the longevity of it, and like you said, the mass appeal.
Which is incredible. And of course, the accolades, the awards, you know, pouring in over time, the involvement with Soul Train, which I think was really, really cool. And you guys earned the Soul Train Lady of Soul Award in '97. What was that like?
That was exciting because that was like our first award show.
Yeah.
First album, we were still very green behind the ears. We were still we may have still been in high school. If not, we had just maybe graduated. Let me share myself. We were young. And so when we heard our names called, so we performed on that. I think that was, yeah, we performed on at that specific award show. And then like right after, we won the award for that specific category. And we were so excited. I remember I was so stoked.
Yeah.
Excited,
You
man.
also got, I mean, Tops of the Pops too, right? You got on
Yeah.
there, which
Yeah.
is, that's another feather in the
That's,
cap, isn't it?
I love Top of the Pops. I don't know that it's still going on these days, but that's definitely another career milestone. You know, that's a big deal over in the UK, and we got to do Top of the Pops. I've done it a couple of times. I think I did it also with Macy Gray, and goodness gracious, I get excited when I think about it because I know how important Top of the Pops is to, you know, the UK audience, and so to say I was able to do that definitely makes me feel pretty cool.
I love the affiliation with Nickelodeon, the
Yes.
Nickelodeon network. And how did that all come about? That's really cool because again, that's another feather in the cap, and that just leads to a blow up of
Mhm.
more exposure as well.
For sure. So top gosh, let me see. I don't really know, you know, I was young back then, a lot of stuff I
Yeah,
don't
you're just
but
like, hey, this is where you're
right.
going, and
Or,
get in the
yeah.
car, and there you
So,
go.
yeah, I'm showing up. I'm like, okay, where's the mic? How did that happen? I'm not certain. I feel like maybe I know that the song All I Want was kind of like, I guess there was interest. We released it as a single from the first album, but then there was, once it was released, I guess there was like a generated interest from either executives at Nickelodeon or maybe of the movie. And they reached out to Motown and they wanted to use the song. So that was really cool. And then I don't know the order of events. I'm not sure if Cousin Skeeter was first or if All I Want was first, but Cousin Skeeter then wanted to do a rendition of Stilo, which was super. That was fun. That was really fun. And so they had, you know, in the theme song, the opening, we weren't used in the opening, but they used, of course, you know, our rendition. We went and recorded it in Vegas. I remember it was so funny because we had to change the words. I'm like, I'm singing about a darn puppet. I can't, I can't believe it. like, what is this? But it was just so cool to see it on the air weekly and like hear our version of it. And it became like this thing, for the kids back then. They remember those moments, they
Oh
remember
yeah.
they remember Good Burger and the video, and Keenan and
Yeah.
Kel being in the video with us. So those are some really memorable moments, which I find just I'm just very proud of, because I can, I think they're doing a revamp now of
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
Burger, and
Yep.
you can watch the original. I think, like, shout out to things like Netflix, where you can see all this old content now, like the sister that you mentioned, and Moesha. You can watch these things now on, can stream now,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
see our little pop-ups. I mean, if you blink, you missed us, but hey, we were on.
but you're still there. You were there. You left your
We're
mark.
there.
And my friend was featured on the soundtrack to Men in Black.
Really?
Yeah.
That was
Incredible.
that is Men in Black is huge monkeys, and so we really wanted that. God, that was just like, who doesn't want to be associated with
A
something
great
that celebrates?
franchise like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We also did a soundtrack for Stuart Little, the little
That's
mouse.
right.
So it's stuff like that is sometimes maybe forgotten or just not really spoken about as much, but it's just so cool just to know, I think about those moments that, like, wow, that really did happen in my career, and I could show my kid, and he doesn't necessarily make the connection because he's on the autism spectrum, but I just feel great as a mom to be able to, he'll watch the movie,
Which
he'll
is, yeah.
burger, you know, um, not Cousin Skeeter. I don't know. I haven't found that one yet, but but he'll watch, the movie about the mouse, and then I'll hear my voice, and I'm just like,
Isn't that incredible?
yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's very much a blessing. I'm grateful every day.
Speaking of beautiful things, the debut album going gold. What was that feeling like?
I have no idea because I barely remember the moment. I know
Because you
that,
were so busy, right?
yeah, but listen, like, no joke. Aside from the fact that it was 20 plus years ago,
Yeah.
we were so busy, like fast. Like, literally the day after I graduated high school, I moved. Let's see, from the day I graduated till I think about maybe literally 14 days later or so, about 2 weeks later, from graduation day, we moved to New York.
That's
Uh,
right. Yes.
Air for this video shoot, and to have to shoot it and to have to do promo for this new single Stilo that we were dropping. And my goodness, I don't even remember. I remember being presented with a plaque. It was so exciting, and they were telling us that Get It Together was like almost at 1 million, and it was doing so well. And then fast forward, I believe, like, with Where My Girls At, of course, that was like 1 million times over. And you don't stop to celebrate these moments. You're just working, and showing up, and just making sure that you're your best, so that you can show up for these people who are supporting you, so that they'll want to see you again. And I
Yeah.
mean, even today, it's such a blessing to be on stage and singing all these nostalgic songs with these memories, and have these people sing along, like, word for word. I don't have to work that hard these days on the stage. I just kind of give the folks the mic, and
Exactly. And
they
I had
sing
heard
along.
something, I think, where you said that one of the goals for you was to really be able to provide, like, comfort and security to your family, to your mom, have a home, have the things that uh, would take care of everybody, which I think is a beautiful thing, Meelah.
Absolutely. Well, again, rest peacefully to my mother. She definitely just always was my sister and my cheerleader, whatever we wanted to do, and I took pride in making sure that I did the same for her. My mom was a single mom after she and my dad divorced, and she always made sure that we were a really tight unit, and that she, my sister, and myself always had each other's backs. That's just how we were raised. And so my mom, if she had $10, my sister and I had, 250 each. Like, we just, whatever she had, she'd share with us, or just give it all to us, because she was that kind of mom. And she
Yeah.
instilled that in my sister and I. So to this day, my sister, my big sister, she's older than I am. We are so close, closer than close. And of course, since my mom passed, we're even closer. We lean on each other. And her daughter, my niece, my only niece, is like my child, and my son, her nephew, her only nephew, is like her son. We care for each other deeply, and we give each other any and everything that we need, because that's just how my mom raised us. And so I think that's what's very important. You do it not just for the fame, but for stability, and just to make sure that you're paying it forward, or else what's the purpose?
That's so great. That really, it's such a beautiful, exactly right. You've got it down as far as why you do what you do and the right reasons to do what you do, which I think is fantastic. Again, all of the career achievements have been extraordinary. As I mentioned, you made a cameo in the 1999 ABC TV movie Double Platinum starring Brandy and Diana Ross.
Yes. That was
Then,
really cool.
then you guys signed a deal, 702 signed a deal with Wilhelmina Models as well, which is incredible.
We did, but I don't know what happened with that. We did, but then what happened?
It's all a blur. Been so busy,
Yeah.
trains and buses and planes, and
No, but that was awesome. Yes, we did, and that was just being able to be on set with, of course, Brandy, and of course, Miss Ross. Oh my goodness, that's just
there you go,
like,
right?
yeah, that's definitely another one of those pinch me moments, just to be that close to Miss Diana Ross of
Yes.
the legendary Supremes. Like, are you kidding me? God,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
so. I'm
On,
grateful
on,
for
yeah.
sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's incredible. And then, you take a little bit of a break, right?
Yeah,
Hiatus, there's
I've had.
family time and other things that
Mhm.
come into your lives. 702 paused for a number of years. And what were you guys doing? What were you doing in between when the pause was happening?
So we
Still
had.
writing music, still? Yeah.
I think after the first pause, which was after the first album, I believe was the first pause, right? I think we took about I think it was like at least another 2 or 3 years before we released the second album. So
Right.
we're just kind of going through adolescence, trying to figure out who we were as individuals, um, maybe even some management changes.
Yeah.
Uh, I think, of course, there's always record label changes. And
Yeah.
so, just the politics,
Yeah.
really. And
It's changed a lot too recent years, huh?
oh yeah. And then fast forward to the more elongated long-term pause. Again, I think everyone's still just trying to figure out, who they were as individuals, who we were sonically, the direction we wanted to go. Um, of course, there were more changes at the labels and more management changes. It's tough being in a group because it's not just all about you, one person. It's about all of you guys, and you have to be one sound mind, body, mind, and soul, and kind of joined at the hip. And you have to have that unilateral way of thinking, and that's not always easy.
Right.
To like agree on everything all the time, and every one of us are so different, in our own rights. But what I do love is that when we did come back together, we figured it out. We all love to write. We all love different types of music. And so to combine that, it's just kind of cool to bring our differences and use them as a plus rather than a negative,
Yeah. Plus all the life experiences you guys have
all the life.
had in between,
Yes, we went
which
and
adds to how has it changed the music at all? The life experiences you've had.
I think we are now just more able to. We learned to be a bit more mature because, of
Yeah.
course, between those albums, Lamisha became a mother. Then later on, Irish and myself became mothers, and Lamisha was married, and it has been and still is, for like 20 plus years. And you go through all of these different milestones in life, whether it's having a child or a marriage or just becoming a grown woman, and just to bring all that, like you said, life experience. I think it does nothing but it increases the value of the music to me. Do you know what I'm saying? And we're able to do some writing where, it's a little bit more of our story versus being written for, versus being just told what to sing. You know what I mean? We can actually be transparent and kind of write our own stories.
Isn't that great? Yeah, before a lot of groups years ago were sort of, you're going to do it this way. You're going to just
Mhm.
be, you're going to fit into this box and that's
Yes,
it, whatever the box is. But you have more freedom to do it on your terms and do what comes from your heart and soul, right?
absolutely, which is so freeing and liberating. Um, which is why I so appreciate, now myself being an independent solo artist. I could just kind of experiment with my music and, you know, different sounds if I like it, if I don't, and test it out with the fans. And it's just kind of cool. I don't have, deadlines or,
Yeah,
different voices in my head telling me, what I can or cannot do. And
exactly.
it, it's just very relaxing. Now, while I do miss, the tour budgets from the majors,
Yeah. The craft services are always really
right,
good, right? Yeah.
I do miss that, but no, but I wouldn't, because now, just having that complete creative control is it's just it's priceless.
Were you just recently, or something happening with Carnegie Hall?
Yes, 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 yes. That
Mm,
is so major. 702 was
congrats
just
on that.
yes, thank you. We were so honored. We were invited to perform alongside our friend DJ D Nice, um,
Wow.
who, oh my goodness, this was his second time doing this. It's DJ D Nice and Friends. So, he went viral during COVID for helping us all stay sane with just DJing at home, and we would just tune
Yeah.
in, you know,
What it was,
blew up really,
everybody
really.
was in their pajamas doing what they could.
Yes, yes. And he's not new to this. He's been around for even before me quite some time doing his thing. But he was so selfless during that time, and shared, his gift with us, which I think just helped a lot of us mentally, emotionally, just kind of get through that. And because it just kind of, gosh, crossed over and blew up so huge worldwide, he's been having some magnificent opportunities, one of which um, is D Nice and Friends at Carnegie Hall. So this is his second year, and he invited 702 this year. And man, were we happy and excited about that. So that was just like last week.
Yeah, it was right. It's hot off the presses. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still like in shock that actually happened. I was just like, wow, this is that. I think definitely that's one of, if not the most exciting times in my career for sure.
It's amazing when you look. I've had the honor and privilege of being master of ceremonies, emceeing some major concert events and all kinds of things at Carnegie Hall. And there's just something about when they open up that big white door and
Oh,
you step out on stage and you just look at everybody in the
it's
balcony and just,
beautiful.
you know, that it's like, it's the place.
Yeah,
Next
I,
stop, God.
I right. It's like, because I didn't know what to expect. Of course, I had never been inside, and you go in and you see all of these, just, oh my gosh, the rows and rows and rows and rows into the rafters, and it was sold out, so it was like packed, and everyone was in white, and it was just like so lovely. It was like, am I dreaming right now? Especially
Like, I
at
can get used to this.
that, right. I'm like, can we come back next year? Oh, fingers crossed. But I was just so excited, because just my mom and my grandmother and all of my ancestors as an African American woman,
Yeah.
and just knowing the history that we were at one time not even allowed to, enter the building. And so now being able to grace the stage as a Black woman, it just, I mean, it almost brought me to tears. It was just really, really, really heartfelt for me. It was really special just walking through the halls and seeing the pictures on the walls of those that did, get to grace the stage, like Nina Simone. It was just like, oh my
Uh,
God.
yeah. Lena Horne. I mean, so many.
Yes, I saw Lena on there as well. Yes. I was like, this is not like me. Okay.
Right. You feel the intensity, the
Mhm.
energy, the power of the
Yes.
history of the building and the
I'm
people that
so
have stood on that stage, right?
yes, before me. I'm not even like being dramatic. I swear me and Lamisha talked about how when we walk down those halls, it's like we kind of just like felt the energy of those photos. It's like climbing off like
Like they're
into
coming alive talking
our,
to you,
yeah, it was
saying,
just
"You
like,
go get it, you go get
mhm,
it," which
beautiful, beautiful.
is absolutely. I want to mention too, I think it's really important that you are so charitable. You really care about celebrating things that you believe in and causes you believe in. And you founded Parents Reaching Out to Understand Developmental Delays,
Yep.
P.R.O.U.D, which is a wonderful organization dedicated to autism and special needs awareness. I think that's an absolutely beautiful thing. And speaking of Carnegie Hall, it's ironic because I have emceed. Tim Janis is the wonderful composer and musician and arranger, and he's had about 12, maybe even 15 PBS specials, and I've hosted them with him on PBS, and we've done a lot of things together. And I've also emceed a lot of his major holiday concerts at Carnegie Hall, and he brings in, well, a lot of different people from all different backgrounds, Broadway, Hollywood, TV, film, and they perform, which is really beautiful. And the proceeds go to Kate. I don't know if you've had any contact with her, but Kate Winslet, the actress, Kate Winslet's the Golden Hat Foundation for Autism Research, which is really, really a beautiful thing as well. So I think that you create, because of your passion for things you believe in, creating P.R.O.U.D is a beautiful thing that you've done, Meelah. Tell us about that.
Thank you. Well, I'm still very new to the world of nonprofit, but what I'm not new to is, my passion for children and my passion for, I guess, just learning more myself, even, as a mom. I tell people I'm still learning every day. I have only one child and he's 14 now, and I'm still learning about autism, about special needs, about developmental delays. And, things are ever changing, but I created it because once I got his diagnosis, which we kind of knew before we even received the diagnosis, I felt like I needed to do something, because at the time I was on television, I was doing a reality show, and I'm like, okay, I need to do something with this platform, something positive, So I established the 501c3 in his honor, just really, like I said, to be a voice, because I knew there's so many parents out there, moms and dads, who don't have the platform that I have, who don't have access to the resources that I may, who don't have just maybe even the courage. I didn't have it at one point. I was very kind of closed about it. It is a private matter, but I was just kind of like unsure that I even wanted to share it. And then I realized, I would be helping so many people just by sharing my story. And so, I've had a few benefit concerts in the past, and a lot of my industry peers have shown up for me, like no questions asked. It's been so awesome. The turnouts were great. I did something a while back for parents just to kind of let the hair down. It was just like a mixer of sorts for us all to kind of just get to know each other and support one another. It was really, really cool. It was a really cool turnout. And it was just parents of kids on the spectrum and special needs. And we did it like a happy hour, and everybody was happy just to kind of have a mommy free moment.
Yeah,
because it's a job all day, every day.
Yeah.
And, it's tough, but, you learn, you research, you try and be as patient as you can, and you do the best you can, for your child, and get as much help for them as you can,
Tell us about your wonderful Zach, the light of your life.
Oh my goodness. Well, he's taller than me now, and so
Yeah.
it's kind of bizarre. I'm like, why and when did you grow like this? But he's 14, but yet developmentally he's, I don't know, it depends on the day, maybe 8, 7, 10. It depends, he fluctuates. In other words, he's much younger than the average 14 developmentally. But he's so sweet. It's funny because I'm seeing the moodiness of your average teenager, right?
Right.
And so he's not wanting me to give him kisses and hugs anymore. He doesn't want to be bothered with all of that mushy stuff. So he's limited verbal, but what he can say and what he will say often, he'll point his finger and say, "Mommy out," which I find to be hilarious. And he'll say, "Mommy
out,
mommy, go to mommy's room." And I'm like, oh, so that was a good sentence. So you figured out how to do that one, right? Okay. So
right. Now, could you imagine if you had said that to your mother back then, "Mommy out"? That would. Mommy, stay in.
Got him. So it's so funny though. But, it's interesting to see how far he's come though. There was a time when he couldn't point. There was a time when he couldn't say more than 3 words at a time. And so I'm just grateful to see the progress. And I try to encourage other parents because it's so easy to compare your kid, but that is not cool. That just only upsets you, and it's just like it's okay that your child is where they are. I can't imagine my Zach any other way. Like, he's been who he is since we've known each other, since we've been introduced to one another, and so I can't even imagine him any different. I'm just proud of the strides that we have made. There's the saying in the autism community, progress over perfection, and so grateful that he is saying more words than he was a few years ago. I used to do this thing that I had to stop doing. I was every other birthday of his, I'm like, okay, well, maybe he'll talk this year. Or maybe, he'll talk more by the time he's 10. Okay, maybe by the time he's 12, he'll really be talking. And I finally had to stop doing that. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, listen, he's who he is. He communicates the way he communicates. And I've learned how to communicate with him. And I'm more than okay with that, and it's not fair to him or to me to have these certain expectations of,
Right.
okay, maybe by next year he'll fully get it and really, be able to communicate like me, and we can have this, back and forth banter. No, that's not how autism works, first of all. you know, and there's lots of different levels and lots of different spectrums. And, Zach he's not mild, but he's not severe, but he's in the middle. But it depends. There's some days where there are things that he's severely delayed. You know what I mean? And so we just have to be patient and ride the ride, man. It's been an interesting journey, but I'm grateful for my tribe. My mother was definitely at the forefront of being a part of my village. Right now he's with Dad, thank God, or else I would not have been able to be here with you this long. And so,
Thanks, Dad.
right. Thanks, Dad, for coming through today.
Absolutely.
My sister, my brother-in-law, they don't live here. They're out of state, but they constantly drive up for me so that I can go and tour with 702 and do things like Carnegie Hall, So I'm blessed and grateful for my family, my aunts, my mother's siblings fly in and out. I'm thankful, you know what I mean? One of my mom's youngest sister just left last week so that I can, go and perform. She flies in from Vegas, and, because that's all I know to do. You know what I mean? I'm like, until he starts traveling with mom and dad, I got to get my family out here because, there's just, it's hard for us autism parents to just trust anyone, especially when they're not, nonverbal or limited verbally. It's gosh, you go to bed at night as a parent and you worry.
Constantly, 24/7. Does he respond to your music, to your singing, to music in general? Does that create an extra spark for him?
Absolutely not. Like, I try. I don't try as hard as much. I've given up. I'm like, Zach, you're a tough crowd, man. He's a tough crowd.
He's a tough crowd. That's it. Yeah. Prove it, Ma. Prove it.
Right. I'm like, I'm trying so hard here. We were riding in the car one day, and one of my girls that came on the radio, and it was the first time that it had just randomly come on the radio that he was present with me. So I was like, oh, this is a perfect moment to, like, turn it up and try to explain to him, like, hey, this is mommy.
This is me. Yeah.
He looked at me like, can you please let me get back to what I was doing, which was my iPad. His head right
lunch
back.
ready yet? Yeah.
He was just like, okay, I don't care. And his dad is also a musician, so he doesn't care. He doesn't care either about Dad. So I'm just like, well, at least it's not just me.
It's not just it. Don't take it personal.
Right.
He's got other things to do.
He has way more to do. He's got these things on his iPad that he's constantly busy with, like Yo Gabba Gabba. He's got to learn all that music, okay? Because that is a kind of iconic Nickelodeon, no longer comes on, but that thing was huge. It was massive, and he really, really loves it. So he's often singing his Blues Clues tunes, his Yo Gabba Gabba, and Dora and Diego. Very much still stuck in the Nick Jr. vibes.
That's so cool. That's it. I tell you.
He's a kid at heart, man. He's still a kid, and I'll take it. With the world today, I'm like, you know what? I'm happy.
There's other places and other roads you could travel, right? That's a good. You've got it. You're a very hands-on, loving mom, which is a
Yes.
beautiful thing. And you've had that, you know, it's passed down through the family, which I think you're
Yeah.
lucky you've had that, you know, being in the music industry. There's so many different avenues, so many different roads, so many things that can happen. But if
Yes.
you have that strong foundation of family and
Mhm.
love around you, whether it's just a couple of people or a big support system, that is so essential to survive it all, right?
It's necessary. It's so needed. I kind of took a break for a while and kind of stopped, even putting myself out there as much, like working as much. I kind of had to just like pause.
Find out who Meelah really is, right?
Yeah, and just really prioritize, as a mom, and put my son first. He was always first. Like I never was the mom who, had my mom who was my nanny just completely, solely raise him, because I'm like, that's not fair. It's not her responsibility, you know? I'm like,
Right.
my child. And so I chose to kind of slow down a bit. I slowed down a bit for a minute and just kind of, raised my child and took him to, his therapies and, you
Best
know,
thing you could have done, because that bond early on carries through the rest of his life.
that's right. It's listen, I don't ever want to not be able to put him to bed at night or wake up and not tell him, good morning. And so when I am out of town and traveling, I make certain that I FaceTime him for bedtime, and say good night. And if I miss bedtime, I'm doing it first thing in the morning and saying good morning to him, because it's important, because he doesn't understand why I'm going out of town, why I'm leaving, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
as he can't comprehend that. And yeah, I can say, Mommy's going to work. I'll be back. Okay. But he doesn't know. He doesn't get it. And so I just want him to know, like, while I'm away, I'm still here thinking about you. And
Absolutely.
I try to
Absolutely.
make sure, yeah, that he sees my face. You know what I mean? Even though I know he's with loving family, but I want him to understand, that mom is here always.
And now there's this incredible book with his name on it. Tell us about Zach's favorite socks. And again, congratulations. And the illustration is wonderful as well.
Well, thank you. So Zach is obsessed with socks in real life. And I mean, I kind of am too. I have so many socks, but he loves socks so
And
much.
how come you put the socks in the dryer and you always end up with one
One.
gone? Has he figured that out yet? He might figure that out. If he
I'm
does, let us
telling
know.
you, right. The same here. I thought it was just me. I'm happy to know it's just not. I mean, it sucks that thing. You look for it, and yeah, it just disappears. But yeah, he loves socks so much that he sleeps with them. Right? Like he won't get in bed with no socks on. Like even dead of summer, as hot as I don't know what.
Wait, you mean people don't?
I cannot do. You sleep with socks on? No, it's too hot. I can't.
Sometimes in the winter,
In
like
the
if
winter,
it's, yeah,
yeah, in the winter maybe, but it has to be like super below zero. But like, I hate to do that.
maybe it's a guy
Uh,
thing.
Maybe, what I was about to say. Maybe it's a man thing, but yeah, he loves his socks. He sleeps with them. He doesn't like to be without. And I did kind of raise him like that too, because my mom raised us to where we had to have something on our feet at all times growing up. We were not allowed to walk around the house barefoot, and so I kind of raised Zach that way too. But little did I know he was gonna like really take it to a whole nother level.
He's got his favorite, and yeah.
He's got, yes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Zach, please, those don't even match, dude. Like, come on, let's switch it up. It wears me out. I'm like, oh my gosh. But those are the repetitive behaviors, of individuals on the autism spectrum. They're very systematic, very routine. They like what they like. They don't want to try new things oftentimes. And so that's what this book is kind of about. I don't necessarily mention the word autism yet in this first book. I'm going to do that and introduce autism later with this character, but I just kind of wanted to introduce folks to Zach. In this book, Zach, the character, is verbal. He's able to have a whole back and forth conversation with his mother. That's not the case of myself and my Zach, but of course all children on the spectrum are not nonverbal. So just kind of wanted to show that there are systematic behaviors and repetitive behaviors, but it also was to really kind of show him being so little, 6 years old, first grade, being expressive, and just kind of encourage kids to kind of use their words a little bit better. Because I tell Zach all the time, use your words, because
Right.
a lot of times he just doesn't want to talk, with the talking that he can do. It's like pulling teeth, man. And so I just
Yeah.
got
Right.
her to just say some words. And in this book, Zach is very frustrated about his socks, and he lets it be known.
And the illustrations are great too, huh? And like you
Thank
say,
you.
there's rhyme in it as well.
Yes, and it's a little. I left it to the reader's imagination to come up with the melody. There's a little section where Zach, the character, is singing about his socks, and so you can kind of create your own melody. I released a children's album back in like 2013, and that's when Zach
Hmm.
was much younger. And back then, I could get him to pay a little bit more attention to my music. There was one song in particular I used to sing to him when I feel like I was still pregnant. And so I recorded it, and that song he resonated with, and actually a lot of the other songs on the children's project. But the older he's gotten, he's a one man band now. Like, he loves singing himself. He loves music. And so, I walk in his room and he's discovered, I introduced him to like Miles Davis and different jazz. And so
Wow.
I was so proud because I walked in his room several times and I was shocked. So I thought it was maybe a one time thing, but he's done it quite a few times now where he's found Miles Davis and some other trumpeters on YouTube on his own. And he really likes sounds and he really loves music. He likes scores and just the theme music on television shows. I noticed that when he was a small toddler, he'd barely be watching the show, but he'd stop what he was doing
But
just to
he'd be
watch
bopping
it
to
go off.
the theme to the show,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Musical
still do
child.
that. Yeah.
And so I love that he listens to. I haven't really introduced him to like a lot of today's music, but he's older now, so I'm noticing he's finding like Kids Bop on his own. Oh Lord, on YouTube. So he's in there singing the little pop stuff. Um, I've played like some Steely Dan for him, and he likes all that. He loves Michael Franks. His favorite song is Tokyo. He plays that on repeat. So I'm creating a kind of an eclectic palette for him too.
I think in doing my research, I learned that you also really like music. Some of it might even have like a really deep, warm, melancholy feel, like film music and things of that nature speaks to you as well, huh?
'Cause I don't know why, gosh, that's sad to say, huh, that I kind of
Well,
resonate
no,
with
I love
like
it too.
mellow.
I think it's deep. It really gets to the core of all. It like gets rid of all the nonsense and craziness and the noise and gets cuts right to the core of things, doesn't it?
I think because I'm naturally a sensitive, emotional person, while I love, as they say, turning up and I love, don't get me wrong, I love hip hop. I love um today's R&B. I love upbeat music, but mostly, yeah, I just really like that kind of, like you said, mellow, melancholy, just I don't know, slower tempo vibe music. And that's why I love jazz so much. I like
Yeah.
upbeat jazz, but I really kind of enjoy like slower jazz, um, smooth jazz. I like, I just enjoy whatever speaks to me. I think emotionally, because I'm such a freaking cryberry baby. Sometimes I'm whatever.
Compassionate, empathetic soul.
I'm a whole girl. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. Yeah.
you know, I
Yes.
well, I wear this tough exterior, because my mom was kind of like that. She was a really strong woman, and so I wear this exterior like I'm so tough all the time, trying to be strong for my son, myself, my sister, my family.
Right. Right.
My mates. Just really just trying to be like this super strong woman, and we always. Uh, it's like we always feel like we have to be this super mom and this super woman, and yeah, I think when I listen to music like that, I can finally just like take the mask off.
Right. The real essence of who, Meelah is comes through loud and clear in many different ways, which I think is really awesome. What do you hope people are left with Zach's favorite socks? And congratulations on it being your first book. This
Thank
wouldn't it
you.
be cool if this sort of turns into a series or
Yes,
something
that's the
and
goal, man.
ends
Yeah,
up on Nick Jr. or
that's the
any
goal.
of these
Sure.
Hulu? Yeah.
Let's speak that. I touch and agree with you, and speak that into existence
We'll put
because
those words out into the atmosphere right
yeah,
now, right?
yep. So, gosh, what do I want them to take away? I guess just take away that, like I said, kids, whether they're on the spectrum or not, and acknowledging their different behaviors of being repetitive and encouraging them to, be expressive with their feelings, whether it's feelings of frustration or sadness or excitement. Because he goes through all of these in the book. He's excited about the first grade. Yet when he realizes he's lost his socks, his special lucky socks, he then gets, sad and melancholy and bummed out. And then, at school, he's excited to see his friends again, his first day of school, but he's kind of sort of anxious, to kind of introduce different feelings and emotions as well. And then on the school ride back home on the bus, by the time he gets back home, I don't want to spoil it, but by the time he gets back home, it's like, all right, what does he find the socks? Is he excited, or is there still a continuation of sadness, or just what's happening? So I wanted to make sure that I explored all those different feelings and all those different emotions, because a lot of times children on the spectrum aren't really fully capable or able to be that expressive. Like Zach can't really talk, so I'm sure, let's say like with the loss of my mom, who he was very close to, his grandmother, it's hard for him to express himself, his sadness, and, what that looks like for him and how his brain functions, what grief looks like. I don't know. All I can do is try my best to explain to him what happened. But it's really, just take away, I guess, just being there for your child. Because in the book, the mom she's so supportive of Zach losing his socks, and she so wants him to find them that she makes it her number one priority while he's at school that day. She could have went and gotten a manicure, but she didn't. She stayed home and tried to find his socks.
Trying to help find those socks.
Right. So probably so she could sleep that night.
So she could sleep, because otherwise it'll be a 24/7 thing looking for those socks, Lord, tearing the house apart, right?
Ooh, you have no clue. Yes. Yes, that's Zach when we lose one of his chargers, or God forbid, one of his socks, or just 2 days ago, I'm like, how do we lose the whole iPad? How did we lose the whole? Mom exhausted. This was like 2 days ago, and we searched high and low, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go crazy. And my poor little, bless my heart, I didn't even think about Duff. They have that whole Find My or whatever. So my cousin, who was that? Somebody that was younger than me, was like, well, why don't you just put on Find My? Find My iPad. I was like,
that's
so we heard to keep it and we found it. But
hey, the adults go crazy too when technology doesn't work and you can't find the sock, and where are the glasses? What happened to those scissors?
Oh my God.
The best is when you're looking for the sunglasses and they're on the top of your head.
That part. Yes, I do that a lot. And the whole, where's my phone?
It's like, where is it? And it's like right here.
Glad to know it's not just me, man. I'm telling you, those are things that are a day in the life of Meelah for sure.
It's all part of it. It's all part of it. Exactly. And 702 on tour, huh?
Yeah, we're just doing like some spot dates right now, but it definitely feels like a tour. We've been super busy since April.
People excited to have you back too, right?
They are, man. It's been such really good reception. We did the Lovers and Friends show this year, which is Usher's show. I think I was living under a rock. I was, going through taking care of my mother. I didn't even realize it was Usher's show in Las Vegas, this whole festival. And this is his second year doing it, Lovers and Friends. And, he has like, shucks, at least 100. I'm telling you, that many artists. And he invited us this year and we were able to do it. And it was just, the crowd was so, so, so good. They were so awesome. They were receptive and they knew every word, and they stood there and waited for us to come out. I was worried nobody was going to be there. I'm like, it's early. We're going on at 1:00 in the afternoon. Who's going to be there? It's going to be empty. It was so crowded. I mean, the people were ready to party. It's like the fake version of Coachella for Vegas. Okay? It was so cool. I was just like, oh my God, I felt really cool. I felt like a young freaking festival attendee. So incredible. Yeah, right after that, we did another festival in Long Beach, which was just as great. And then, we did a few things for Juneteenth, something in Virginia for Juneteenth, back to Vegas. We were there for a Juneteenth performance, which was awesome. Just to see the love, just to see the embrace has been really, really cool. I think they're very happy to see us when we do finally get back out there.
And a whole new, you have the original fans that are excited, but then you're opening it up to a whole new generation of fans who are discovering 702, right? And the music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, Get It Together, for whatever reason, just keeps going viral on like TikTok, and it just keeps, keeps being sampled by current young artists today. And so that definitely has been just super cool. It's introducing them to, yeah, our sound and our music. And, you know, it's so funny when we're on the road, sometimes we meet younger folks and they're like, oh my gosh, I know you guys. My mom plays you guys' album.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm like, what do you mean your parents played my albums? I'm your age. I'm like, you don't say. No, but it's really sweet. Just to see these kids and have them look up to us. And it's just like, wow, you know, I still feel so youthful. So it's just sometimes I'm just like, I'm still kind of like in denial that like, I'm like, oh, my music did really come out almost 30 years ago.
Is that not hard to believe?
And
Right. Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
first album was in 1996, and then the second 1999, and I think the third was 2003. But yeah, that was like almost 30 years ago. So it's really cool to have a whole new generation acknowledge the sound.
Exactly. Right. And the music industry has changed so much too. And
So
again, just the fact that you guys reunited and you're back and you're putting out the music and, you know, singing the hits, and it's really a fantastic thing. You've got so many wonderful things that are happening for you. I think it's really, really inspiring for others who might be going through certain things in their life, or family members who are going through things, as
yes,
well as those who might want to enter into the very demanding and unpredictable entertainment industry, and the music industry specifically. You're very inspirational on many different levels, Meelah.
thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. I'm just grateful that we're still able to, you know, do things that are still current and happening, that we're still getting invited and we're still, you know, able to be a part of this stuff. I do things with 702. I do things on my own, as Meelah, that people reach out to me individually as well, to just kind of, whether it's come, you know, speak on behalf of an autism summit and be recognized, or you know, come and sing some of my solo music just because they're fans, because they've been with me since 702, or um, come and just, you know, be a judge for something happening here in Atlanta. There's always cool stuff in Atlanta. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm so thankful. Like, the key word is, I'm thankful that I had a family who instilled, of course, you know, faith and spirituality, but even more so humility, you know, in me. You know what I mean? Because
Key. Yeah.
man, because you know, today is just different. It's a different world we're living in. It's the music industry is different.
Mhm.
Human beings are different. It's just the
It
way
is.
of the
Well,
world is.
probably like even when you were 10, 11, 12, and these cool things were happening, you were probably like, here I am. Okay. You know, part the seas. I'm here. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't hit you really. I mean, it didn't really hit me because you don't really know what's happening, because everything is just
Right.
moving
So
fast,
fast. Yeah.
so fast. And now you look 30 years later, and then you hear you do an intro like you did, and you're like, dang, I did all that.
I did all that, right? Yeah.
So again, thank you for that. But yeah,
Hmm.
it all happens so fast. But to be able to kind of have this resurgence of you know, being able to get back out there and doing it again, it's just been nothing short of a blessing. And I'm just, you know, trying to ride the wave. I'm grateful, and I pray that it continues. You know, because it feeds the soul, it feeds my soul, and it, you know, it really, I get emotional when I think about how, like, I went live randomly the other day. I'm not great with my social media, but I'm gonna get better. But anyway, that's another combo. But so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go live today. And I had someone, I said, you know, if you want to join me, you know, request to go, to come chat with me. And I had this individual from the UK that, I mean, he was so overcome with emotion, and it was so genuine, and he was so sweet, and he knew so many of the songs that weren't even singles, but like, you know, the album tracks. And man,
Yeah.
he like he was just explaining to me how these songs got him through difficult times, and how he would play Get It Together or whatever his song
Yeah.
that got him through times where he was just feeling low. And I was just like, that is just, you know, it's
That's what it's
things
all
stories
about.
that really pushed me to keep going. Because I'll be honest, there was a time where I wanted to throw in the towel. There was a time when I felt discouraged, a time when I didn't want to do it anymore, or wanted to give up, you know. And you hear these stories, and you hear from your fans and your following and your supporters, and you realize, like, you can't give up. You know, you have to stay strong. You have to fight the good fight, as they say. You know,
Yeah. Just keep doing it, right?
yeah, and
Exactly.
it's too much of a blessing to just feel sorry for yourself just because you're having a rough day or whatever. Like, you got to keep going, because I mean, this is just like, how many people want to be in this position to be able to do this? Like, this is a super cool job, and it's not easy, and it comes with a lot of pressure, but I mean, gosh, it's a blessing.
It
So I'm just
really
grateful,
is.
really grateful to be able to still do this and have enough light in me that I can, that it still shines and for other people, and hopefully I spread it to other people, and they can, feel just as enlightened and encouraged and motivated to move forward.
Well, you've been shining on the stage, like you say, for so hard to believe, over 30 years with 702, and of course your own solo career. And now you're a mom, you're an author, actress, all these cool things that are happening. You're riding the wave, but you're also appreciating where the wave comes from and how the wave takes you in different places. And again, it's a full circle situation, Meelah, for you.
It is. It really is. I don't know. I just want to be in the moment, so it's so easy to get caught up in how fast things go that you
Right.
don't stop to just breathe and be grateful for the
Yeah.
moment present,
Right.
I was blessed and fortunate to be a part of the National Geographic did a series on Aretha Franklin, and
Yes.
I just got a random phone call to come and be a part of it, and like things like that, like that's what you know what I mean? It's just like, that's who does that. It was just so awesome to be able to just like play a background singer for Aretha, opposite Cynthia Erivo on National Geographic. Like, I mean, that to me is still a pinch me moment. You know what I mean? I mean, I only had one speaking line, but that's not the point. The point
Hey,
is,
that's
I
it.
had so
Yeah.
many episodes, and it's just like, I didn't mind. I was there as a singer. They called me because they knew I was a vocalist. I'm like, they're like, do you mind? It's just to come and be one. I'm like, what? Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Just some of those things we've even mentioned today: Nickelodeon and Sister Sister and Carnegie Hall and Miles Davis and Aretha Franklin and Soul Train and Top of the Pops and just pow.
Telling you, and I'm like, God, I thank you. And that's why, people often say, what do you like? It's like, it's questioned so much. Don't you feel like you guys are underrated? What do you feel like you're underrated, Meelah? But then I'm like, no, I don't. What does that mean?
Right. Exactly.
Thank you. I get it, because I feel, thank you. I understand what they feel like. You guys aren't giving your flowers enough, or you're not honored enough, or you should be higher than when you are. You should be more, in the limelight, whatever. They mean well when they ask the question, but
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I feel like everything that was designed for me happened in how it was meant to happen. That's the way that it went, for a reason. And I'm grateful for all the things that we've done. I'm grateful for what I've done with 702, and grateful for what I've done, by myself, and as a mom, and
With your wonderful Zach. Yeah.
like, no, I don't feel underrated. I feel like
Not at all.
voice has contributed in ways that, was meant for ears
Right.
that it was.
Where you're supposed to be. Exactly. Right.
I'm grateful. Like, I'm not
That's
complaining.
it. Blessed and grateful.
Yeah, I'm grateful. It's easy to complain, and I do complain sometimes because I'm human. But I check myself and say, hey, stop that.
Especially when you lose the sock.
Right.
That'll do it.
I try to find the darn sock, and he gets upset when there's holes in them. So what I'm working on now, I'm trying to create a line of socks that
cool.
Do not, that I'm doing some research for this material where we cannot get any holes, because he spazzes out with these holes.
With the holes, right?
Tell him, stop walking in circles, as he does, bless his heart, with no slippers, because you're gonna get holes again. Oh God, it's just, we have so much fun with the same conversation, he and I, every day, with these socks and these holes, and it repeat.
Yeah.
But listen, I wouldn't change it for the world. That's my boy, and
That's your boy.
That is that's my number one, and I'm happy that I'm able to do things like write a book and release it in his honor. It's the least.
That's absolutely Zach's favorite socks. Extraordinary. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, you can get it there. It's available now. Is there Kindle version, an audio version at all where you're speaking, or is any of
So
that?
that's in the works actually, because
Cool.
initially I kind of passed on it. I was just like, no, let me just start out with this. And
Let's
now that
just get the book out. Yeah.
and now I'm like, oh shucks, I should have done that because everybody's asking for that.
They want to have it. Well,
Yeah.
it's in the works, gang.
Yep.
Social media, it's Meelah, of course, Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, official pages and all. And this was really a terrific conversation talking about 702 and all the fabulous music you guys have, provided all of us, and coming back and reunited on tour, doing your thing, but also getting a chance to learn about your beloved Zach, the light of your life, and of course, the book. Really cool stuff. I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you, Meelah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. This has been
Uh,
awesome.
the honor and pleasure is all mine. Spread the word about the Jim Masters Show series. If, as you can see, I don't even call these interviews. I say it on the show. We call these conversations.
Conversations. I love that.
Totally different vibe. And Tommy Reed watching is a big lovety on our show. He says, awesome. I think Zach is awesome. I have a special needs sister, Sandra. I love her so much. My baby sister, Sandra.
Hi,
That's
Son.
beautiful, Tommy. Thank
Yes,
you.
that's cool. I
Appreciate
know.
it.
I wish Zach had a sibling because from what I hear, they do so well when they have siblings. But
Yeah.
it's okay. He's an only child. I mean, I'm good with that. But
Right.
but
Right.
shout out to you.
Exactly.
Great big brother. That's so instrumental to their development, I'm told. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. Sherry in Kansas is saying, thank you, Meelah, for being here today. You're a strong and beautiful mother. That's not an easy job. Blessings to you and your son. Good luck in all you do, the books and the touring as well, which I think is really, really beautiful. Maureen in Arizona, I wish you continued success, Meelah. May your star continue to rise. God bless you and Zach, some of our regular Lovity viewers who,
Thank you.
yeah, and you've already been designated a Jim Masters Show Lovity. How cool is that, huh?
That I'm gonna come back, just so you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay,
I keep the porch light on. You will be back.
please do.
That's it. Linda Odell in Florida says, thank you, Jim, for having Meelah on your show. She's such a beautiful person. Please have her back. And
Oh,
thank
see,
you, Meelah, for coming on Jim's Lovity Show. Sure hope you felt the love from all of us Lovities. Please do come back. Really nice. She feels the love. She sure does. Pam in Maryland says, thank you for a wonderful show, Jim and Meelah. Sherry says, I'll be checking your book out. This would be an awesome book for story time. She does story time readings to the kids, which,
I love that.
yeah, you get the book into schools and libraries and things like that.
Yep, hospitals. I'm working on going to read for some hospitals. I did a photo shoot earlier this year for St. Jude for children with cancer. So I've been in touch with them, and I want to definitely start going and reading at the the NICU. Exactly.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah, for reaching the kiddo.
Juanita, one of our Lovities watching in South Africa. Amazing conversation. Thank you, Jim and Meelah.
Oh.
Thank you, Juanita, as well, and everybody for all the great comments. And you can continue commenting, gang, if you enjoyed this episode. You can comment on the YouTube channel underneath the episode. This is archived, so you guys can see it again on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and give it a like and share the lovity. Meelah, this was awesome. Welcome back anytime. We're going to keep that porch light on for you, my new friend. Let's stay in touch. And this
my gosh. Thank you. Pleasure was all mine. I will see you again soon, my friend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You take care and continue joy and blessing to you and to Zach and to everybody. Okay.
Thank you so much to you and yours as well. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thanks, Meelah.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye now. Singer, songwriter, actress, author Meelah Williams, lead singer of the 1990s R&B sensation, wonderful trio 702, who reunited right around 2017. They're back out on tour, gold records, Billboard charting group, and lead singer. And what a fantastic conversation, right? We don't call these interviews. An amazing conversation. That's what we do here at JMS. We have conversations and great entertainment, interaction with all of you as well. And we talked about not only her iconic 30-year career in music, 30-plus year career in music, which is hard to believe because the group 702 was founded back in the 1990s, but also we got a chance to hear about her family. Her mom passed last year, and of course, still feeling that loss deeply. And she was open and shared that with us as well. But also other elements of her upbringing and her family. She grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada, and just continues to share the light with her group P.R.O.U.D, and also the continuation of the music with 702, and now being an author of her very first book, celebrating Zach's favorite socks. And I think that's just a beautiful thing. Whether you tuned in today because you love Meelah from 702 and you've been a fan of Meelah and the ladies in 702 for the longest time since the 1990s, or you love the fact that she's doing incredible work on behalf of autism through her organization, or you just like stopping by the Jim Masters show, no matter who the guest is. You just love our vibe, the positivity, the fun we have with all of you. Whatever the case, if it's all of the above, that's the golden ticket. We absolutely love that. The book, again, is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And, of course, she's at It's Meelah on socials. You can find me on social media as well at Jim Masters TV on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Stop by, like, follow, do all the rest. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, where we house all these incredible episodes. As a matter of fact, don't touch that dial, because coming up in about an hour and a half, for those that are watching live, we have the incomparable, the sensational Flamingo fusion duo, Alba Music, joining us. Yes, Albert and Barbara are going to be here. They are extraordinarily talented musicians and performers, and it's going to be awesome. They're all excited. They're pounding it out as far as celebrating and sharing on social media their excitement for coming on JMS on the Jim Masters Show Live. They're going to be here at 4 p.m. Eastern, and that'll be 1 p.m. Pacific today live. So this is a double Lovity day. 2 shows today, back to back. Who does that? Who does that? Maybe the only ones that do that are maybe your local news team, where they have news in the morning, noon, afternoon, and evening. But as far as online, who does 2 in a day? JMS does every once in a while. So double Lovity day. So they're coming up in about an hour and a half. If you're watching this, a year from now, then they have already appeared. You can see that episode archived right here on the Jim Masters Show Live series. So we thank Meelah for joining us. She really is a star, and she is a compassionate person. She's a passionate person. We got a chance to hear about her pride and joy, Zach. And again, there's the book. And of course, the group 702, everybody excited about them performing as well. Yeah, really cool stuff. Meelah Williams, lead singer of 702, actress, songwriter, author, great person all the way around, right here for you live on the Jim Masters Show Live series. If you guys enjoyed it, well, connect with us. Don't forget, a couple of things while the show is on live, if you want to support what we're doing. And thanks to those of you who have done that continually. Super chat, super emoji, super stickers is a feature within the chat section on the YouTube channel. Click that and you can support us and all these hours, thousands of hours of content now, over 3.5 years almost, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of guests now, actually. Thousands of guests, because we've done almost 1,000 of episodes, and sometimes we've had several guests on at the same time. So cool stuff, I tell you, really. So you can support there, and also super thanks on the YouTube channel. It's a heart icon on the YouTube channel. On all the episodes, you can click that, and that helps support what we're doing here as well. And of course, another key thing to do if you really enjoy this episode, and all the ones who enjoy, there's a thumbs up icon on the YouTube channel on all the episodes. Do click that. When you click that, that helps us expand our reach. Yeah, YouTube and we love when you do it. And the algorithm, when you subscribe to our YouTube channel and when you click like and you leave comments underneath the episodes, the YouTube technology, the algorithm sees that energy and blasts the episodes to even more around the world. We have millions that watch around the world, but why not reach the entire globe with this energy, right? How cool it would be. You can help us do that when you click like, you comment, you subscribe, and also share this episode. Share the YouTube episode link on your social media as well. We also, in addition to finding me at Instagram and Twitter at Jim Masters TV, and we welcome you there, we also have a Facebook page. Now, we've sort of combined everything to make it easier for everybody. And also, I'm so busy with my professional work in television and radio. I'm headed out to Phoenix and San Francisco and Pittsburgh and Maryland and all over with TV shoots and projects. And I'm so crazily busy with radio shows during the day and TV stuff. So to make it easy for everybody, you can find us at Jim Masters TV on Facebook, the page for me and other work that I do, but also for our show. So it's a page there where we've merged everything together to make it easy for everybody, and we're all in one place because there are thousands of people who are on that page, Jim Masters TV on Facebook. So if you haven't liked it or followed it, do so and interact, say hi and share there as well. We encourage you to do that. All right, cool stuff, gang. I think it's about 2:30 here. I'm gonna have a sandwich or maybe some soup in between the shows, and then we'll be back with album music. It's gonna be terrific. The sensational Flamingo Fusion Duo right here on JMS. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, share the levity. Tell everybody you know. Nice to see all the familiar faces. Lots of new folks joining us all the time. We get emails and texts and private messages and Facebook messages and Twitter messages and Instagram messages from so many people around the world. Some names you see, when they comment in the Levity Hall chat room or on social media. Some just contact us quietly, privately, letting us know how much they enjoy JMS. And we really, really appreciate that. So cool stuff, gang. Always a pleasure to be with you. I am your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time, this time till next time. And we'll be right here waiting for you on the next episode of JMS. Again, don't keep it a secret. If you love it and you want more, let us know. Let us know. We love this. And all of you are commenting, and we really appreciate that. And it was great to catch some of the live show, missing you all. Juanita, absolutely. We still have the light on here. We got another great show coming up in about an hour. And Maureen in Arizona wants to pop in with these lovely comments, which we really appreciate. Jim, I just can't. No words for how thankful we all are for your amazingness. You absolutely make our day with JMS Live. You are truly the master. Is that the S on the end? Thanks, Maureen. I appreciate that. Really kind of you to say that, and glad that, and I hope to see you soon in Phoenix, Arizona. Can you cool it off a little bit there? I know it's like 120 degrees in Phoenix where you are. Maybe you can chill it a little bit for when I come, put it on ice for when I come. I'm going to be there for a TV shoot, and then we'll try to see if we can hook up with her. I try to do that with some of the folks, and love it. Sherry Larson says, thank you, Jim, for another wonderful show. Thank you all. Thank you for all you do for all of us Levities. Thank you very much. I appreciate your kind words, Sherry. And you are very good about sharing the episode links from our YouTube channel on your social media. That's kind of you to do that. Every little bit helps, folks. Whatever you do, super chat, super emoji, super stickers, super thanks, sharing, tagging, liking, commenting, subscribing, and all the rest. And amazing conversation. Thank you, Jim and Meelah. Absolutely. Meelah had a good time, and I had a good time too. And good stuff. Yeah, maybe you can bring it down in Phoenix to the lower 100s. That's doable. That's doable. Because you're not necessarily near an ocean like we are. So if it gets a little steamy, we got some storms supposedly rolling in here later, some rough storms. So we'll see about that. But we can pop in the ocean because we're here on the coast. For those watching for the first time, we're here on the East Coast of the United States in the New York tri-state area, metropolitan area, along the beautiful southern New England coast between New York and Boston. And it's a beautiful day right now. It's 75 degrees, sunny, but we've got a storm headed our way. So we'll look out for that. All right, gang. Good to see you. Thanks for being here in Lovity Hall. It's always cool to converse with you as well. We love it. Again, stay tuned for album music coming up next here on the Jim Masters Show live. We don't say goodbye around here. We say see you later. Ciao, cheers, sayonara, slancha, avida zain, moi loop, hejda, hasta la vista, and all the rest. Did I say shalom? Cheerio. Take care, be well. We love you all. Thanks for being with us, spending time with us on this episode. And the storms you had yesterday, you sent to us. Can you keep those storms up there in Canada and keep that smoke up there? You've been sending us the smoke from those wildfires in Canada, Merlin. Maybe you can keep them. They should go through like a border check or something before the smoke comes. We're good here. We got blue skies, but we had some of that Canadian smoke that came through here in the Northeast as well. All right. Good stuff, gang. Meelah Williams joining us. We love her and thank her for being with us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. And we thank all of you. Be well. I'll see you on the next one coming up in less than an hour and a half. So we got to pop off quick. We got to reconfigure everything and get ourselves ready for the next broadcast. And we appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's probably, I don't know if it's in that corner, but if you do it this way, it's in one of those corners. And we'll see you soon, all right? We love you all. And I know we always say, we don't say goodbye around here, but our exits are lengthy because we have a relationship with the viewers. That's why. And you are freezing, yeah, because it's winter time there in South Africa, right? It is winter. And it's summer here. All right. That's it. That's a wrap for the 90th time. We'll see you soon. Album music coming up. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. And always great to have you guys with us here as well. We'll see you soon. All right. Love you. And Jim Masters saying cheers.